Hi and welcome to Rip Makes, and welcome back to part 2 of how to finish 3D prints. In the previous instalment we took a Lego figure that we printed out on a Creality CR10, took it to a belt sander, got rid of all the main parts, and then we hit it with a load of spray filler to even out the surfaces. Today we're going to be carrying on with that process and ending up painting it. So let's get started. Well, here's our parts with a couple of coats of spray filler on them. We've got this part here that's sort of worrying me a little bit though. This was a print defect. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover that up with some modelling putty. I don't know if you can see, just it's not too bad that side, but there are still a few bits that are quite noticeable. So what I've got is this Squadron Products grey putty. Just going to dab a bit of it in each one of these gaps. It does start to set rather quickly, so I just want to work fast with that. Obviously don't apply too much because then that's what you'll have to remove and sand off. So I think this is just a case of examining each piece, and if you see anything, there you go, there's a couple there. And I'm just trying to be mindful of where it's actually going to be visible, so obviously anything on the inside here you're never going to see, so it doesn't really matter. So it looks horrible at the minute, but as you know, we can sand all that down and make it super smooth. Again, it does help if you get any excess on, just get rid of it now while it's wet rather than adding time to your sanding. Right, I think that's it for now, so if we just let that dry, come back to it shouldn't take too long, and then we can start sanding. So we've got our parts. I've added some extra filler for the bigger gaps. I've done that on most things just to cover up bigger lines, and now we've still got to do a lot of sanding. For that though, I'm going to need some extra help. So if I clip my fingers, and as if by magic, here's helper.
Hi.
This is Hannah, my girlfriend. She's going to help us sand today. So Hannah, thanks for giving up your afternoon. There's some sandpaper. If we just rip it into pieces about that big, fold it in half, and then if we divvy up some parts, so do you want some legs?
Easy bits for me, please.
Yeah, I'll take a head, that needs a bit of extra work. Do you want an arm each, and then that's pretty easy as well.
Perfect.
And you can get on with your day after this.
Cool.
Well, let's get sanding. So just to let you know what we've been doing here, we've been taking, I think we started with 100 grit and just been working our way with the higher grades until we're getting a smoother and smoother finish.
It's not the most romantic date you've ever taken me on.
No, but I think it's memorable.
Wrong reasons?
I don't know. Right, that's my parts done. How are you looking?
Yeah, all good. As with all the jobs, probably need your approval first, but...
I think they look ace. Right then, well thank you very much for your help, Hannah.
Pleasure.
Right, let's get back on with the rest of the video. Bye, Hannah. Okay, so what we're going to do is just clean all these parts down, get rid of all the dust, and then we're going to go get on to painting them. Okay, before we start painting, I just want to run you through a few steps that I've done preparing for that. I've cleaned all the parts. I've used some sugar soap spray. Soapy hot water would do the same, just make sure it's all dry before you commence painting, obviously. There's a few holes and imperfections in the filler as well, so what I did was just put a blob of super glue on, wait for that to dry and sand over it again. So I'm just going to make some room to spray, and we can put on the first layer of primer. Okay, so I've set up a little temporary spray booth again, i.e. foam core and gaffer tape and a bit of cardboard. And the paint I'm going to be using is just some auto primer. So we're going to get this on first. We might have to then sand that back again, but this is going to give us a good indication that we've filled most gaps. Okay. Well, that's one coat of primer. I'm going to let that dry, come back to it and see if it needs another one. The primer coat's had overnight to dry. I've given it a light sanding, and now we're going to move on to the colour coat, which is going to be a gloss white. As you can see, the spray cans I'm using as stands now. So that is the Autotech Professional Gloss White Spray Paint, automotive paint again. So I'm going to apply this, even coats, short little bursts. I'm going to build up the layers slowly. Right, that's all my parts. So next thing, we just want to cover this up to make sure no dust gets on it. I'm going to keep this covered overnight, keep the dust off it, and check back tomorrow for the results. So these have had overnight and another coat and another overnight. So time for the big reveal, I think. Let's have a look at them. So yeah, this paint's worked really well. It's got a really good shine to it. I think probably you could add like another gloss varnish to it just to sort of protect the corners and stuff. I will do it at some stage, but I think at the minute they're looking pretty good. I suppose the next part now is to start fitting it all together, which I know we need to do some adjustment on, just because some of the parts don't quite fit yet. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way that they turned out. Okay, so we're going to move on to assembly now. So I need to get that to fit in there, which obviously at the minute it doesn't. So I'm going to take a little bit off this, just on the edge of the belt sander here. The key to this though is going to be being really careful and watching the finish that we've just spent so much time perfecting. So let's give that a go. There we go, that's 2 arms in, it's looking good. So the hands are up next. As you can see, they sort of go in that far, but with like the arms, they've got like a little ridge. So I think what we're going to do, rather than force that in there or drill these wider, I think what I might do is just cut this across here, slot that in and glue it. That's the right way up. Okay, for the legs, obviously I need those to fit on there. We're a little bit tight at the minute, so we're going to make these holes a bit wider. So first one's on. Good articulation actually, it's not touching, unlike the arms. Right then, move on to the second. So in between drilling, I'm just going back to test fit it. Make sure we're not going too loose. That's just about, that'll actually go on. It's tight, but I suppose when it's stood on a shelf you don't want it falling over, do you? Right, legs and body done. I think this is nearly there. Okay, so I've just gone to test fit the body and the legs, and the legs are slightly too big. So with a file now, we're just going to take a little bit of material off. So what I've done is clamped in the vise, but inside a cloth to keep it safe. I'm just going to start grinding off a little bit of material now, so that hopefully that'll just sit on there really easily. So considering these are always going to be glued together, what I'm going to do, rather than spending ages trying to get these to fit, I'm just going to shorten them so they've got a bit more room to go inside the body. So I think with that cut down now, they're nearly there. I think just a bit of trimming with a blade should be right. We'll call that a fit. So final thing he needs is a head, of course. Now that's pretty cool. I think we should do some final gluing and touch up that paint, and I think that's project completed. Okay, so he's finally finished. I've touched up the little bits of paint that we knocked off while we were fitting them together. I've given him a coat of gloss varnish to give him a bit of added protection. He's all glued, apart from his head. I thought I'll just leave that to be removable, quite like that. Other than that, I hope that's taught you some tips and tricks about how I do it. If you've got anything to add, any ways that you do it, please leave the comments below. You know the usual, like, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I'll see you soon for the next one.